And here's what we're going to do tonight. So with that, let's get started. First thing you need is a piece of fun foam. And my piece is 3 by 4.5. And I just determined what size I wanted my opening to be. The next thing you need to do, and I will tell you this is an extra step, but it is well worth the time to do it. What you want to do is I took my fun foam and I used my trimmer. I want to make sure I'm in the, so that you can see it. And I started at a 1/2 inch. First of all, I had a 1/2 inch over here. I started at a 1/2 inch and I went down a 1/2 inch from the bottom. So I'm giving myself a 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch here. Now it's not going to cut through, but it gives you the marks and you know it's straight. And then you're going to cut this one. I just have to press a little harder. And it'll give you the other one. Again, you're using a 1/2 inch all the way around and a 1/2 inch down and a 1/2 inch from the bottom. Like so. And then you do your last side. And I have the thinner fun foam. So you get marks that look like this, and it has cut it some, but then what I did was I flipped it over and I did the same thing on the back side all the way around. Use your 1/2 inch, line it up with the 1/2 inch on this side, and use a 1/2 inch from the top and a 1/2 inch from the bottom. When I first originally did this, I ended up using the ruler and the scoring tool, the craft knife. But I found that this way, if you did both sides, it gives you a better line to follow. I've got to find my, there it is. So then you want to take a self-healing mat, a ruler, and your craft knife. And this goes so much faster than if you didn't do this. So it does save you a little time. And then you're just going to cut along those lines. And I like those lines because it gave me a line to go by. And see, look, it's, I mean, you just have to go back and pick up those other pieces. So I got to see a little. So I'm trying not to put my head in the way so I can see where to start and where to stop. Okay. Now, if you have rectangle dies or any other die, you can cut it with the dies. Since we'll be getting the rectangle dies in the Occasions catalog. Oops, did I let that slip? This would be perfect for it. You can use squares, circles, ovals. I just went with the rectangle because it's easier to cut, and it's sometimes some of the best ones to start with is a rectangle. So if you have your rectangle dies from other companies, use them. All right, so now we have this. And this is the difference. I wanted to emboss this, so that's what I was doing when a lot of you came on. Then you're going to flip this over because you want to do this on the back side if you've embossed it anyway. You can emboss afterwards. I did it ahead of time because I wanted to save some time. And then you're going to take a pencil and you're going to trace around it. And don't press too hard because the foam will give. But it gives you an idea of where you have to cut. And here's the key. When you cut these, I'm going to try cutting this with the trimmer again. When you cut these, you do not want to cut on this line. You've got to have a little bit of overhang because of the, I don't know if you can see it, See how the white is a little bit narrower than the opening? If not, your white shows. So if you take your piece, and there we go. And again, you can use this is a little harder because you really have to watch where to start and where to stop. All right, I gotta stop a little bit before because I want, did I just do this wrong? I may have. Hold on. We may be redoing. Where's my piece? All right, I'm gonna see if I can't keep going. All right, I may have done it wrong. It may be that you have to cut it inside that line, which is I think what you have to do. So I may have to adjust the size of this. I still didn't get inside it. This is why I think it's better to use a craft knife. Aren't you glad I make the mistakes for you? All right, let's see if this is going to work. And I'll show you what I mean. If I've screwed up, then you'll at least see. But the opening on, for lack of a better way to describe it, of course I can't get in here now to cut it, the opening on your piece of paper here has to be smaller than the opening, and I think that's where it's going to mess up. It has to be smaller than this. See how that's showing? But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take and I'll cut this down a little bit because I have some extra space, so I'll just cut it. Got it. See how you need so that that white doesn't show, and I can adjust it a little bit here and there. All right. Next thing you want is you need a piece of acetate. All right. And the acetate goes on the back of here. So you're going to take your glue, get that piece out, and you're going to run some glue around the edge. And your acetate needs to be bigger, a lot bigger than the hole, because you want it to make sure that it covers the entire hole and there's no chance for anything to come out. Now what I do is I take a block and I put it on top and let it sit. The next thing we need to do is get our card base ready. And this gets glued on here, but I don't want to glue it down until I know about where I need to put it so that it doesn't show. And believe me, I've tried it several ways. This is the best way. So what I want to do is I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to get it approximately where it needs to be. And I'm eyeballing it. I got glue on it. Put that back on there. And I'm going to put this block on here. You want to make sure your glue is stuck down really good. So that's why you use the block to do it. And we're just going to give it a few seconds. Now, I went through my beading stash and I pulled out all kinds of beads. What you want is you want a few beads that, that's come loose. This is what happens if it doesn't, I'll have to seal it. you want to make sure it's sealed. I did it too soon, so I've got to make sure that I put that back together. What you want to do is you want to take a couple of sequins or something and stick them down so that they stay in place. That kind of helps hold some of your beads up. So with that, I'm going to use these sequins that I had and my glue dots. And I'm going to put those on. Now, if you're doing this at home, my suggestion is put your two pieces together, give it about a half hour, and let it sit to stay. I may try some of the some tear-in tape around the edge of this, just so that it stays down. All right, and I'm going to take my sequin and put the ones with the glue dots on the back here. And I'm spreading them out so that it kind of catches your beads and all. And before I go further, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try the tear-in tape. Usually it's the glue that works, but the glue is coming off on that. I don't know if it's... All right, if you're going to use tear-in tape, and that may have been the issue, put your tear-in tape close to the edge of your frame. Not at the very edge, but close to it, so things can't come out, because that's what's happening with that other one. I may have to take it apart and use some tear-in tape. I tried it with the glue thinking that's what I had used in the past, but apparently not. It was probably the tear-in tape. All right. And I'm gonna pull this up. I want this to go past it to make sure that I get it past those edges. Because you want a good seal. Oh, see, that didn't. I gotta burnish it in real good. See if I can get this up. There we go. All right, now. All right. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the backing off of your tear-in tape. Your key here is to make sure you don't put this on upside down. Ooh, I hate that when it happens. It ripped off the backing. All right, and this piece is already coming. All right, so think about how your card's gonna open. Don't put it on upside down. Now what you want to do is you want to put some sequins inside of here. So I'm just going to take some of what I have and I'm going to put some in. All right, set that over there. My luck, I'll knock it over. And I have all different kinds and sizes, because the key is to get enough in that you get a shaker. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna lay this flat because I can see this thing going every which way. All right, now these are thicker. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to use them. If it's too thick, it's not going to shake around. So keep that in mind. Let me put the top on that one. All right, I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to put some white ones in. Those are just at the very edge of being too big. And now I'm going to use some clear ones. Ah! See? I'm an accident waiting to happen when it comes to beads. And then I'm going to add some silver ones because I really want to have some contrast But the key is, how do I get in here? Here it is. I'm just going to take, all right, close that up before I knock it over. And what I'm going to take and do is I'm not going to put that all the way down. All right, I shook it around a little. I think it needs more. You want enough in there that it gives you some interest, but not so much that it doesn't shake, if you get my idea. If it doesn't shake, it's not going to do you any good. I'm going to pick up some of these that are spilled all over the desk and put them down in here. Let me get some more white ones. Where's my... I'll put a lot of white ones in there. Close this up. This one is interesting. And I'm going to put a few more silver, I think. So what do you think so far, guys? All right, I think I have enough now. Now what you want to do is you're going to flip this over, and I embossed this with the Softly Falling embossing folder, so it looks like snowfall. And I'm going to put this down. Oops, one came out, it escaped. Oh, another one escaped. And I'm going to try to center it top to bottom and side to side. Then you want to press it down all the way around. And look at that. Yay! All right, I took the seasonal layers and I cut out some snowflakes and I put dots of glue on the back so that we could take and I could put this together and you didn't have to watch me and wait for that to dry. There you go. And now all you need is a sentiment on there. Cool, isn't it? Yeah, Pam, I've done it too with beads everywhere. If you get small containers like this, put it in, mix your beads up in a bowl and pick your beads out and put it in there. Oh, I'm getting the spinning ball of death. I hope and pray it's still going through. But there it is. So I just need a sentiment. But see how the sequins that I put in there help hold some up in place, and you just kind of play with it. I mean, cute. There's that one. And here's this one that I've got to go back and fix. I'll do it afterwards. It came, see, the glue's not holding, and this is what happens. I'm going to pull the top off. See, it's not holding. My suggestion would be tear and tape. So I'll go back and put tear and tape around this. But this is what happens, and then your pieces all fall out. So, and once it gets stuck down on here, unless you take it apart and take it off, it's not going to go back down, and you're always going to have sequins going everywhere. Oh, good. My iPad was spinning, so I didn't know if it was my iPad or if it was the internet connection. All right, there we go. I'll just go back and add tear and tape around this. I'll put that in a little container and put the tear and tape, put it back in, and then finish it up. But there's two very different ideas, one with flowers, one with snowflakes. So there we go. And again, the key is making sure you can't see your white fun foam. So when I first did this one, I put the whole thing together wrong. I put all these pieces together on the back. The acetate and this were all attached to this, and it was like, well, what are you going to use to contain your sequins? So put this down first. And if you want to cut your fun foam the same size as this, you can. It's not beyond anybody's expertise, Barb. Everybody can do this. My suggestion, cut your fun foam to this size and then cut your two pieces out, and then you don't have to worry about it because you can come in even further. If I had made this the full size, I could have come in 3/4 of an inch on the fun foam, which would have worked.